Today, Apple held their annual event where they revealed refreshed versions of the iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. Is there a huge difference between last year's and this year's devices? Well, let's figure it out together. Hi, welcome to Zgadgetreview. Today, Apple held an event called California Streaming. This is their annual event where they revealed the refreshed versions of the iPhone, the smartwatch, or I guess the Apple Watch, which is a smartwatch, the iPad mini, and the iPad Pro. So let's go and break down exactly what it was announced at this event, pricing, release date, all those details. Let's start with the iPad. The entry-level iPad, which is the 10.2-inch version of the iPad, is going to receive a refresh on the internal chip that runs the system. It's going from the A12 to the A13. Storage is also going to double, starting with 64 gigs of storage. The front-facing camera is also going to get an upgrade, which is going to be 12 megapixels. The iPad is going to start at $329. Not only that, but the entry-level iPad is also going to support center stage, which is that feature where if you use the iPad for a video call, the iPad, or well, not the iPad, the camera on the iPad will actually follow you as you move around the room. It is also going to support the first gen Apple Pencil and Smart Keyboard. Now, the jump to the A13 Bionic chip is important because Apple says that this iPad is going to be 20% faster than the last iPad. It is also going to improve on the CPU, GPU, and the neural engine of the device. Apple also says that this is going to be 3 times faster than the top selling Chromebook and 6 times faster than the top selling Android tablet. Now, who is still buying Android tablets is beyond me. So, is there really a big competition within the Android tablet field? I will think no. Now, the 10.2-inch Retina display is also going to support True Tone, which means that the screen is going to adjust to the color temperature of your surroundings. So depending on the lighting, wherever you are, the screen will adapt to that lighting to give you the best image. As I said, the iPad is going to start at $329 for the 64 gig version of the tablet. If you want to get the model that supports Wi-Fi and cell connection, that one will start at $459. It will be available on September 24th. But next, we have the iPad mini, and the iPad mini receives a refresh after 2.5 years. So if you have an iPad mini that is 2.5 years old, I guess you'll be happy to know that you can finally buy a new iPad mini that is actually going to offer you some upgrades versus the regular year after year iteration of a device. Up next, we have the iPad mini. The iPad mini is going to be slimmer with rounded corners. It is going to lose the home button because it's going to be so much smaller. So you're going to have a fingerprint sensor on the power button that supports, of course, Touch ID. One of the biggest changes to the iPad mini is that it's going to support USB-C charging. So it is going to be a device with finally a USB-C port, something that people have been asking for Apple to do for a while now. They're finally doing it, but they're only doing it with the iPad mini. The port is going to support transfer data of up to 5 gigabits per second. Of course, the USB-C opens a plethora of things that you can connect to the device. The newest iPad mini will also support the next gen Apple Pencil, which you can actually magnetically attach to the tablet. The iPad mini moves to the A15 Bionic chip, which can deliver up to 80% faster performance than the previous iPad mini. And it wouldn't be that hard to beat the previous iPad mini, seeing how it's almost 3 years old. The iPad mini now will also support 5G connectivity. It will also support Wi-Fi 6. The front-facing camera is going to be 12 megapixels, and it will also support center stage. Again, that feature that follows you around as you're talking on a video call. The iPad mini starts at $499 with Wi-Fi only, with 64 gigs of storage. And the model that includes 5G connectivity is $649. The devices will be available on September 24th. Let's talk about the Apple Watch Series 7. Turns out that the leak by Bloomberg was, for the most part, correct. I did a video on that leak, which you can see here or in the description section. It turns out that the screen is going to be larger as predicted and is going to be 20% larger than the Series 6. Also going to have thinner borders, and this of course is going to allow you to have new screens that will be able to fit 50% more text and feature enlarged buttons. This will also make the screen 70% brighter. The way that they are making the display, that they're putting the display on the watch, is supposed to make it stronger so it won't crack as easily if you fall or drop it or something happens to the watch. On that note, the watch also is going to be dust resistant with a rating of IP6X. It is also going to continue supporting submersion up to 50 meters. Charging is going to be faster as well. You can expect the watch to go from 0 to 80% in 45 minutes. Most of these updates come thanks to watchOS 8, which should be a part of the device when it releases. The Apple Watch Series 7 starts at $399, and we have a release date of fall. We don't have a specific date on the release date, and the reason for that is because of the chip shortage. And this is something that I also talked about on the video that I mentioned earlier, where Apple is having some issues acquiring all the parts that they need to make the watch, which had delayed the production earlier. That was something that was part of that Bloomberg leak. I read somewhere that the production had started again, but one of the reasons why they're not giving a specific release date is because of that delay in production. So we'll have to keep an eye out for a specific release date and possibly for shortages on the smartwatch if it's something that sells more than is expected, or if production isn't able to ramp up to where they need to be. Let's move on to the biggest announcement. This will be the iPhone 13. And so I'm going to start with the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max, or as they were called during the event,
our most pro iPhone ever.
I guess you gotta put a tagline somewhere on something to get people to buy it, right? Now, one of the big changes on the iPhone 13 lineup, starting with the iPhone 13 mini all the way to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, is that the notch is 20% smaller. It isn't a notch-free phone yet, but it is smaller, so it shouldn't be as obtrusive as it has been in previous phones. The iPhone 13 Pro is going to be 6.1 inches, and the iPhone 13 Pro Max is going to be 6.7 inches. Same sizes as phones last year. The iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro Max are going to have faster refresh rates on their screens, topping at 120 Hz refresh rates. Finally, an iPhone with 120 Hz refresh rate. My only nitpick about this is that it's going to be adjustable, meaning that the phone is going to decide the refresh rate depending on the activity that you're doing on the screen. They're calling this promotion, not promotion like you're getting promoted, but promotion. Get it? It's a combination of something really cool, the word pro and the word motion. Promotion. Who comes up with these terms? Apple, who does that? Who goes, hey, we got motion, or we got promotion. Huh? My nitpick about this is that you finally get a phone, an iPhone that supports 120 Hz refresh rates, but then they decide how you're going to use that refresh rate. Hold on a minute. We're not going to allow you to have 120 Hz anytime you want. No, we're going to tell you when 120 Hz is appropriate for you to use. Leave it to Apple to control everything on a device that you paid over $1,000. Now, the way Apple talked about this, of course, is as if they have invented fire and there hasn't been any phones that do this, which is not true. There's tons of different phones in the Android universe that support 120 Hz refresh rates and that actually allow you to use 120 Hz refresh rates the whole time you're using the phone, no matter what you're doing on the phone. This is something that Apple should unlock and let people decide if they want to use their stupid promotion or if they just want to have it unlocked. Because call me crazy, I like having my refresh rates at 120 hertz all the time, no matter what. The iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max have the usual 3-array camera on the back. It's going to support night mode in all 3 lenses. You're going to get an improved 77mm telephoto lens that supports 3 times optical zoom. This is also going to support macro photography with a minimum distance of 2 centimeters. Another feature that you're going to be getting on the iPhone 13 lineup is cinematic mode. Something I focus a lot with cinematic mode is the changing focus of the camera. If you've seen in movies when you have a subject in front of the camera and the background is blurred, that's called rack focus. And so the iPhone is going to be able to make the switch really quickly between what's in the background and what's in the foreground. So the phone is going to be able to detect when the person looking at the camera turns away. So if I did this, and then the camera immediately will focus to the background to, put it in focus while I become out of focus. And then when I turn around to look at you again, the camera immediately will switch the focus to me and make the background blurry. The iPhone is going to be able to do this. They did a whole short film where they make ridiculous focus changes, like a lot more than you ever see on any show or movie, to kind of drive the point of what the phone can do. It is a pretty cool feature that is going to be able to make your videos cooler, prettier, better. If you're going to use it though, just don't overdo it like they did on this event. Now, if you're a pro, as I like to call the people who own the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max, you'll be happy to know that when you shoot video, you'll have access to ProRes video, meaning that is going to be like shooting in RAW, and you'll be able to make the edits easier and better when you're editing video. Not only that, but it's also going to support Dolby Vision. The iPhone 13 lineup is set to arrive on September 24th, and the pricing goes as follows. So we have the iPhone 13 mini, which starts at $699 for 128 gigs. And we have the iPhone 13, which starts at $799 with 128 gigs as well. We have the iPhone 13 Pro, which starts at $999 with 128 gigs. iPhone 13 Pro Max, which starts at $1,099 with 128 gigs. For these two phones, the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro Max, you can get up to 1 terabyte of storage. You have other options in storage, which goes 256 and 512, besides the 128. So it goes 128, 256, 512, 1 terabyte. So there you have it, a new year with a new lineup of Apple devices. The iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. I will definitely wait to next year, especially if the leaks on what the iPhone 14 might look like, which, I have some reservations on. It might be worth it, but definitely next year's phone is going to be a bigger upgrade than this year's phone. So I will wait an extra year and wait. I think if you are a person who's within the iPhone Apple ecosystem and uses the iPhone, what I will do personally is I will stick with even number years. So last year's iPhone 12, I will skip 13, I will go 14, and then skip 15, go 16, and so on, because there is a bigger improvement between those devices than when they fall in odd years. That's my opinion, just from what I've been following on the iPhones through the existence of the iPhone. So that's my recommendation on that. What do you think about the new iPhone 13 lineup? What do you think about the iPad? What do you think about the Apple Watch? Do any of these devices wake up your desire to buy one of these devices? Or are you like, not that big of an improvement, I'll wait till next year? Let me know in the comment section. That's it for me. Go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. Thank you very much for watching.